Uh, Hi everyone, and a very good evening. This is Amani Yadav from Rotract Club of Hyderabad, and today we are going to know much more about the how to prevent and what are the causes of suicide. So generally, at times we struggle with intense thoughts that we don't know how to cope with, or that makes us we lose hope that anything will change. Sometimes this can lead to contemplating suicide, which can be like a roadblock uh, to moving forward. Feeling suicidal doesn't mean you are crazy, weak, or flawed. It likely indicates that you feel you have more pain than you can cope with right now. For most people, suicidal thoughts are confusing. As much as you want to die, you may also want a solution to your difficulties. You may want others to understand how you feel and hope that they can help you. Having such mixed feelings and being unsure about what to do can cause great anxiety with time. And support you can overcome your problems and the pain and the suicidal feelings will pass on. Good evening, everyone. On this day of World Suicidal Prevention Day, we Rotaract Club of Hyderabad jointly are organizing this awareness live event with Havoc Therapy and Jimintana. Jimin Tana has 15 plus years in corporate world. He pursued his bachelor's in education and graduated from an MBA. He is into meditation and consciousness inquiry since the age of 5. Currently he is pursuing psychology masters. He believes that there is a common thread connecting all consciousness path, also a adherent mindful practitioner. He always likes to say, I am my first patient. Havoc has begun in 2018 to address the critical gap by providing tailored and holistic mental health support to 18 to 35 years old. With a focus on early intervention, they work with schools, colleges, and organizations to provide support at a crucial time in young people's life to help them get back on track and strengthen their ability to manage their mental health in the future. At the heart of their services and product, they ensure they meet the evolving and unique needs of young people and those who support them. Therefore, young people are at the center of everything. How does a young people play an active role? Therefore, young people are at the center of everything Havoc does, and young people play an active role in designing, developing, and evaluating the programs. Thank you, everyone. Now I request Jimintana sir to take over the live session.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and welcome. And thank you for your time. To start with, let's start with understanding. What we are going to do today is try and understand the nature of suicide, the quality that it has. We will look at some of the very pragmatic signs that we might face in our own self or people who are close to us. We will look at those signs. And we will then try to inquire into what are the options, where are the main flaws when it comes to a mentality of suicide. And then, of course, we touch upon some therapy approaches, what kind of therapies of counseling there can be. And then we touch upon the mindfulness part of it a little bit, which is, for example, my favorite part. So let's start with the suicide. Yeah, why does a person opt to suicide? Two basic things. One main answer comes, which then goes into two parts, is escape. Person really wants to escape something. That escape has two main genres of it. Escape from the past, the depression, which is now overwhelming, or the anxiety of the future. In a nutshell, everything that comes in, for young generations, I've heard people who are pursuing IITs committing suicide, a management student jumping off the balcony of a hotel. Yeah. Just the stress of that study and anxiety of what is going to happen, people want to escape that. And that maybe is one of the root causes, the escape mentality of not being able to bear the current state pushes one towards suicide, because we think that could be escape, and nobody knows what's on the other side. Nobody knows what's on the other side, yeah? But that's the escape. That it starts from the root of that. But we need to understand as human being, it's against the intelligent state that we have. What I mean by that is, if you have a hand very close, even a small baby, if his hand comes near closer to a fire, that person is going to take it away. Yeah. If you're walking down a very lonely road and suddenly a dog barks, you're going to get startled. Yeah. The fight and flight syndrome. All of this is basic condition, the basic intelligence of the body and mind. And this goes against a person trying to destroy him or herself, which is suicide then. So first thing, let's understand it's very, very against the basic intelligence conditioning of body and mind. The entire attempt of doing suicide, the self-harming syndrome, yeah? Because even as kids, as I mentioned, first thing is that we will try and protect ourselves. That would be the first conditioned response. And conditioning has its own place, and we will come to that. But just to understand that this is something which is against the intelligence state, right? Let's understand that. Let's step back and look at some of the symptoms that you may see in yourself. To start with, as I like to say, I'm my first patient, yeah? We need to first look at our own self and then maybe look at the near ones. So for example, talking about feelings of hopelessness, trapped, talking about doing suicide, and which is people don't do that often. And in this call, I want to urge, it's very natural to talk about feeling like suicidal. Let's talk about it. It's not contagious and it's okay. There is nothing wrong in it. Let's speak about suicide as a topic. Yeah. And that is where Havoc Therapy and Rotary Club, I thank you for bringing this up and giving me this platform. Yeah. The biggest thing is nobody wants to tell I'm feeling suicidal, but tell it. There is nothing wrong in it. Yeah. Talk it out. Yeah. Sleeping too much, too little. Avoiding social interactions or trying to become suddenly too social. Having dramatic mood swings. Staying calm, suddenly an outburst, and then again you're calm. Yeah? Things like this, for example. All of these put together gives you a tentative sign of maybe there is apathy, there is grief, there is some conflict happening inside the person, starting with our own selves, and look at it. You know, levels of consciousness, if you look at it, starting from, say, Dr. R. Hawkins, Power versus Force, and that translates into a lot of emotional leadership and other quotes that people use it in different way. But, you know, you start at apathy, grief, feeling sad, the victim mindset. Yeah. That I am victim. Yes. There is something wrong happening with me. The victim mindset. Above that is a conflict mindset. Conflict mindset is anger, revengeful, vengeful. You know, you get happy when, oh, this boss, he missed his luggage in the airport. Now he knows what I'm going through. But is that really something that is going to make you calm? No. So the victim mindset, the conflict mindset, and then comes my neutral. I feel humanity deserves, we all deserve to be in that mindset, which is I call as responsibility mindset, which means I am responsible for my own mental well-being. Not responsible for things that went wrong. Of course not. Yeah, if your girlfriend or boyfriend dumped you, you are not responsible from the action perspective. Or if your boss fired you, you are not responsible from that action perspective, but you are responsible in the mental state that you are now experiencing. You have a choice to react mentally on what you want. And that's the responsibility mindset, which is bare minimal. Beyond that is peace, joy, and, you know, people call it as enlightenment, which is raw passion. You will see some people who are so passionately working towards everything. That is a non-judgmental state. It's far ahead. We can't reach there if we are at conflict mindset. We first need to go and understand this ladder of mindset and experience which set where we are, and then come to the responsibility mindset. Yeah. At least bare minimal, that should be the point. Yeah. Also, one very important mind game I want you to let you all know. When person is in stress, that person himself first, or himself or herself, for example, shouldn't be bothered by I must become better. Yeah. For example, I must let go. The quality of must let go and failure of not being to letting go itself is going to conflict. And then that could be the reason for you to go into depressed. It's okay if you can't let go. It's really okay. It's okay if you cry. It's okay if you are sad. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to let go of the memory which is hurting you. No, that's not that's exactly against let go. Right? And then on the contrary, if you say it's okay, even if I don't let go, it's okay. And listen to this very carefully. Yeah. It's okay if I don't let go. In essence, is letting go. That's the quality. It's really okay if I don't let go. That's in true essence is letting go. Let's always remember that. So when you try to advise your friend, or first of all, listen, don't advise. Advising doesn't work. A person can only get the energy to work towards an idea if that idea is his or her own. Otherwise, the person will never get energy to work towards it. Right? So go more into understanding this mental circles of, oh, I'm depressed and I should try to forget that memory, or I should not take this tension, and that become a tension itself. So it's okay if you take tension. It's okay if you cry out. Always remember that. And speak out. Speak about suicidal thoughts that comes in. What can you do when you experience these thoughts for your own self, or you experience it with other people? First of all, claim the help. Help is out there. There are, seeing a bird fly properly could be a help. Claim it. Don't be afraid of claiming help. Asking for help is strength. It's not a weakness. Remember that. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Claim the help. Call out for help. Call out for that friend who will listen to you. Call to me. Call out Havoc Therapy. Call out anybody. And if they're talking too much, tell Jamin, please shut up. Listen, I want to talk. It's okay. Claim the help in the way that you want. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be there for the person whom you feel is getting suicidal. Be there. Really be there. Yeah, listen to that person. Give him the space. Experience him as he is a living creature. Don't try to solve a problem. You got a problem. Oh, I'll solve it for you. No. See him or her completely as that person is. Giving that space is a therapy in itself. Right? One thing let's understand very clearly, and I'm now coming into the mindfulness topic, and I'll touch a little bit on therapy and what you could expect. There are different types of therapy. But when you are under waterfall, there is huge waterfall falling on you. And then if somebody tells you, oh, don't worry, life will be okay, it's only temporary, you will say, what are you talking? I'm under the water. I can't even hear you. You don't know the mess that I'm going through. But imagine that person now taking 2 steps behind the waterfall. Still the water is falling, but now the person can see that entire mess. And now you can talk sense. Or now you can talk sense to ourselves. If I step behind the waterfall, I have that space. Now I can talk sense to myself. Yeah. So space is very, very, very important. Right? Always remember, you need first the space. Remember always the waterfall analogy. If you yourself are under the waterfall, or if your loved one is under that waterfall emotionally, the first step is space, not the advice, not the looking at the life perspective. No therapy, no gyan is going to help. Yeah, step behind the waterfall first. That's the step 1. Second step, and that's again very important. Before going to the non-judgmental parts of the world and people telling you all those things, compassionate inquiry. If you have a small kid in your home and who falls and cries, what is the first thing you're going to do? You're going to cuddle that person. Not tell him, oh, look at your pain, where it is. No, that's not. Cuddle yourself. Be compassionate. Love yourself completely. First step is important. Compassionate inquiry. Like you would do it to a child. You will hug so if my daughter falls, I'll hug her and tell her, what happened? Where is it paining? Yeah. Do that to yourself. Compassionate inquiry. And then there are a lot of other things that people might talk about, but I like to talk that the start is the end. So you start with a space, you do compassionate inquiry, and that will manifest in different kind of thoughts and approaches for yourself to heal or heal the person. But essentially what you are doing is coming back to step 1, which is space. And that space is the psychological freedom that we have to be in. Yeah. Recognize what is happening. Accept it. Don't fight it. Accept it. Accept the emotion. And emotion is generally physical. So if I'm depressed, my stomach, my gut is, it feels like acidity. I'm feeling bad in my forehead. I'm feeling bad in my stomach. Accept it. Investigate. Why are you here? What do you want out of it? The answer could be rest. And then the last step of non-identification. Yeah. I mean, in the therapy, just to let you know what can happen is cognitive behavioral therapy, if you like. Cognitive behavioral therapy, what it will do is it will break the things into 3 parts. But this all happens if you have space. So the first part is event. Oh, I got fired from office during coronavirus times. And so I'm depressed and stressed. No, You're not stressed because you got fired. You're stressed because what you are thinking. Your thoughts are making you. And once you realize it for yourself, not a therapist telling you, only once you, oh, this is why I'm getting stressed. Now you have command, you have control. You can change that thought and maybe your stress is in control. It doesn't go away. It shouldn't go away. You're fired. You have to do something about it. You have to take that stress. That's constructive, but not to a level where the stress becomes bigger than getting fired. Yeah. Then there is this activational behavior and activation theory, which talks about what are you doing? Oh, I have a sports team who is not taking me seriously because I'm fat. I'm not suited there. So I'm stressed. So what do? I start eating ice cream. So I start eating ice cream, I get more fat. And because of more fat, anyways, my sports team is going to fire me. Now that's activational behavioral two spirals. You need to look at that and then change the things. Yeah, but enough spoken. Let's not go into the theory part, the space part. Yeah. And I want to leave you with one last thought, and I think I'm done with the thing. One last thought. Remember the time when you were really joyful and peaceful, when you was looking at the valley and drinking a coffee, or looking at a moon, or looking at a nice sunrise, and you were feeling very peaceful. Can you remember that and relive it, re-experience it? It's very hard. But if you had a fight with your loved one, how many times have you replayed that fight in your head and actually experienced as if it happened? Have you considered why? Why can you experience the negative stuff again and again and again and live that emotion, literally, physically, mentally live that emotion, but the joy and the peace, you can just remember, oh, then I was joyful, but can't remember that memory and live it again and again and again. That doesn't happen. Why? Did we think? Did we inquire? Because joy and peace is not the quality of thought. And so it cannot come through thought and memory. And that brings me back to my discussion of space. And that's maybe the start and the end. Everything else in between is all gyan, yeah? Everybody will tell you, oh, do this, do that. No, how? How? Starting with space, following into a compassionate inquiry, getting back into space. And that's what my suggestion to all of you would be. And I'm always ready to talk. Talk it out. Yeah, you stress your claim the help. We deserve to claim the help and be happy. It's a common thread that ties us all. We are all in it together. Yeah, yes. We are all completely in it together. Don't go by what my vacation pictures would look like on Instagram or Facebook of the world of people talk. Oh, we have these series of photos where there are happiest of the moments in the photos, that those were just before the suicide. Don't go by that. Yeah. And the suicide rate, especially in India, in the young crowd, is the highest. Yeah. In one of the journals, I don't remember, but 30 to 40% of the suicides are below age of 30. And more than 70% of the suicides are below 40. Can you imagine that? Which society are we going into? Yeah. Where are we going? That's why I say we are all in it together. And 40% of these cases I read, nobody knows the reason behind it. Nobody knows the reason behind it. From the other reasons we know, it could be financial, family, or educational stress. Yeah. Yes. But the other 40%, we don't even know the reasons behind it. Claim your help. Joy is not of the quality of thought. Create space. Be compassionate towards yourself. Yeah. And then continue more into the peaceful space. You deserve to be happy. That's all what I wanted to say.
So I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
About what one should do if they identify someone with a suicidal mindset.
First thing, call for help, or tell him or her that call for help. Claim the help. Make them agree that you need help. First thing is call for help. Second, work on the space and be there. And don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask that, oh, are you thinking about suicide? That could be a direct, good question to ask. It's needed. Yeah. So that's the start point.
Yes. And also about youth and suicide, and what are the available treatments or therapies for us?
Yes. So, the youth and suicide, as I mentioned, that 30 to 40% is below the age of 30. In many cases are around stress of studies and stuff like that. Yeah. Yes. I had gone with my senior manager to VJTI college in Bombay. Yeah, that was my dream college. I couldn't even get into 4 levels below the college. Yeah, and then I go with him over there, and he had a startup, and he studied in a college even worse than me, and we both went into VJTI college to do hiring. It's okay. Things will shape out the way it has to shape out.
Yes.
So there are a lot of unnecessary stress. Think about your parents. It's your life is not that cheap, and we don't even know what happens after that. Yeah.
Yes.
So especially in the youth, there is this increasing rate of suicide, right? And if we consider youth below 30, age of 30, then it's 30 to 40% below age of 40. So then I feel like a youthful person now today, even in that age group, 70%. Yeah. Claim help. Claim help. Available treatment therapy starts with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. There are behavioral activation theory. Mindfulness is the basic of all of these things. Understanding, right? Understand these basics. Mindfulness is really, really the strong base. Now, there is a question on the chat I would like to pick up. So
Yes,
Rashmi
sir.
talks about why would a person who is thinking of suicide will reveal that, yes, I'm thinking. Exactly the point. Yeah, there is such a big stigma about, if you have a flowing nose, if you have headache, would you hide it from somebody? No, right? There is no stigma. There is no mental block against discussing, oh, I felt suicidal. In this call, I have no shame in telling, oh, I have felt suicidal. As I said, I am my first patient. There have been times when I have felt suicidal. Now, today, when I look back, I laugh at that stupid reason. Thank God I'm alive. That was really silly reason at that time to think about suicide. Yeah. So talk about it. It's not about why would you do it. I'm urging, talk about it. That is my urge, Rashmi.
Yes. We are very grateful you took the time out from your busy schedule to address a small group, sir. Thank you so much. Havoc Therapy has a good team of excellent psychologists who would like to extend their service to those in need during the time of global crisis. They understand that the current situation is hard and affecting our mental health and well-being. Thank you everyone for joining this live session. If you have anything you want to talk about, you can reach out us through or Havoc Therapy Instagram page. Havoc respects your privacy and they will assure you that the information you provide will be kept confidential. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.